This is Alex Tardy, meteorologist with National Weather Service, and this is a report on conditions.
This week, we take you to a residential structure fire in the city of Moreno Valley, and senior meteorologist Alex Tardy joins us as we give a shout out to our partners over at the National Weather Service.
Stand by for reporting conditions.
Hi, and thanks for joining CAL FIRE Riverside County Fire Department's Report on Conditions. I'm Alex Izaguirre. Last week, from September 26th through October 2nd, our firefighters responded to 3,770 calls for service, including 2,874 medical emergencies and 123 fire-related calls. Of the fire calls, 29 were vegetation fires and 15 were structure fires. Let's dive into a few highlighted incidents from the past week. In the early morning hours of Monday, September 26th, firefighters responded to multiple reports of structures on fire near the intersection of Lightning Way and Avenger Drive in the city of Moreno Valley. The first arriving company officer reported 3 to 4 under-construction residents fully involved in flames. Utilizing the nozzles on their truck's aerial ladder, fire engines delivered large amounts of water to suppress the fire and provide defense to the surrounding structures. Within an hour, firefighters contained the flames and performed extensive overhaul to ensure the fire was fully extinguished. In total, 4 residential structures were destroyed, but since they were in the construction phases, no civilians were displaced. On the afternoon of Wednesday, September 28th, firefighters were dispatched to a reported residential structure fire at the 86,100 block of Sonoma Creek Road in the city of Coachella. The first arriving engine company reported a small residential structure with heavy smoke exiting from the rear of the residence. One patient was transported to a local area hospital with moderate injuries via private vehicle, and one adult was displaced by the fire but refused assistance from the Red Cross. No injuries to fire personnel were reported. On Sunday, October 2nd, firefighters received reports of a vegetation fire just north of McCall Memorial Park in the community of Pine Cove. The first arriving engine officer confirmed a quarter-acre fire with a slow rate of spread. In cooperation with San Bernardino National Forest, firefighters contained the wildland fire to a little over half an acre. Over time, command of the incident was transferred over to a captain with San Bernardino National Forest. No civilian or firefighter injuries were reported.
I got what it takes.
I've got what it takes.
I've got what it takes.
For the past 20 years, Southern California Edison has worked with CAL FIRE Riverside County Fire Department to inspect vegetation near power lines in high fire risk areas.
The relationship between CAL FIRE Riverside County Fire and Southern California Edison allows Edison to have the accessibility to areas that SCE staff are normally not able to access. These areas are in the very high and high fire severity zones, and we conduct these inspections to ensure that hazardous vegetation is cleared from the high voltage power lines, and we are in preparation for the Santa Ana wind events.
This annual inspection, known as Operation Santa Ana, is conducted to prevent potential vegetation ignition near electrical equipment, with an emphasis on being completed before the Santa Ana winds arrive. Working hand in hand, SCE and the fire department drive through neighborhoods and conduct inspections on foot to ensure that the state's fire hazard reduction requirements are best understood.
You know, a lot of folks that we look at it and it's okay, we just need to trim the tree, but we need a better understanding of why we trim that tree, not just from an Edison perspective, but from a fire perspective.
This ensures compliance is maintained year-round, which in turn keeps the public safe.
My name is Alex Tardy. I'm a meteorologist with the National Weather Service based out of San Diego. I moved out to California in the late 90s and was generally unfamiliar with fire weather. How can lack of weather be high impact? How can lack of weather be something that's a problem, like drought, like fires that are occurring on sunny days type of thing? And so I've been now in the agency for 28 years, and almost 15 of those have been in California, with drought and fire weather always a topic and concern. We do a lot of work at the National Weather Service that's behind the scenes. A lot of it is developing, sustaining relationships so that we can message and communicate what the threat is, whether it's big or small. We do a tremendous amount of work behind the scenes. A lot of people ask me, what's the weather going to be? But that's not really what we're focused on. the day-to-day weather of partly cloudy and 80 degrees. We're focused on what's going to be an impact, no matter what type of weather it is, rain, fire, and what can we do to get that message out there and get everyone on the same page? Get the county, get the cities, get the residents, the visitors, all on the same page to better understanding what the threat might be. So it's a lot of work that you don't necessarily see and may not necessarily show up in the newspaper or on the internet or on the local TV channel that you're flipping through. But when it comes to something bigger, whether it be a tropical storm that we had in early September, whether it be a fire weather red flag situation, a wintertime atmospheric river, or maybe just a massive heat wave like Labor Day weekend, it's focusing on those higher impact type of events. So our partnership with CAL FIRE Riverside, it goes back years. It's not just fire, even though fire's in the name. It can be for floods, it could be for heat waves, it could be for search and rescues. And we know that most of the fires that start are driven by weather, and they're hard to contain because of weather elements that occur. So we're engaged heavily, more consistently, with fire weather aspect. So a lot of times we're involved with operational work for addressing and responding to an incident, but there's also preparation that goes on, and the preparation is just as important. So this time of year, we're engaged with CAL FIRE Riverside with discussing the outlook for the fall, whether it be Santa Ana winds, red flag warnings that we might issue, the current and ongoing drought concerns, the state of the vegetation, the fuels, how receptive they might or might not be, and overall, what is the threat as we go into the fall? Is it normal, above normal, below normal type of thing? And we'll do that all the way until the winter when hopefully we finally get some really wetting rains and fire season at least goes to bed for a while.
For the month of September, we'd like to congratulate Fred Mata, Jason Patterson, Mark Skrainar, Kyle Carpenter, Anthony Gomez, Eric Brascano, Michael Vera, and Raymond Phelps on their promotions to fire captain. Just this past Sunday, on October 2nd, fire apparatus engineer Dietrich O'Neill retired after 20 years of service. Thank you for your dedication, and we wish you the best in your future endeavors.
That's going to do it for this week's Report on Conditions. To stay up to date on current incidents as they happen in Riverside County, be sure to follow @CalFireRRU on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Did you happen to capture any videos or pictures of our firefighters in action? If so, send them our way at rrupio@fire.ca.gov. On behalf of your CAL FIRE Riverside County Fire Department's Public Affairs and Community Education Bureau, I'm Alex Izaguirre. Thanks for watching.